Oh, our boy Seth Rollins, man. Our boy Seth Rollins. Knee deep in it again. I didn't want to believe it. This has been kind of a little trend over the past several weeks with Rollins in spitting out maybe TMI, maybe just a bit too much. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes you just gotta know when to shutty. For Rollins, we've been seeing the past several interviews that he is just a little bit unhinged as of late. He's making ludicrous claims and crazy accusations, and it's clear to see that he is so far into this WWE bubble that I don't know if there's any way to get him out of it. Because he is believing all of that Vince McMahon hype. He is eating all of Vince McMahon's dinners and afterwards saying, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" Because he's kissing that McMahon ass, man, and we all like to, or at least we did, we still kind of want to have respect for Rollins. He is still one of the best in this world when it comes to pro wrestling. I firmly believe that. But wow, when you see the interviews and the things he's been saying over the past couple of weeks and being pissed at his own buddy Moxley because Moxley came out and said the conditions that he felt he was going through in WWE. Rollins didn't feel that was the right way to go about things. And then Rollins continued to pretty much bash his own peers in the locker room, saying that they should stand up and start getting the company's back. Even if the company isn't getting their backs, you still gotta be company men. So all the frustration in that locker room, he's pretty much saying, suck it up and join McMahon's fight. Put this company on your back and put it up on a pedestal, even if it's not putting you up on a pedestal. That doesn't seem right, but that's what Rollins said. He's the self-proclaimed locker room leader. He goes on to belittle and disrespect a respected figure in pro wrestling like Will Ospreay, to the point where he actually had to go back on social media and apologize to Will Ospreay because he knew he was being a douchebag. Come on, man. At what point do you say, maybe I should just stop spewing the bullshit in these interviews? But recently he did two separate ones earlier this week, and he's continuing this delusional mindset that he's spewing out to anyone and everyone that will hear him. And it started with Yahoo Sports earlier in the week, where he went on record to say, we're the New York Yankees in pro wrestling. It's easy to hate the New England Patriots. We're those teams. We're the dynasty. Rollins said it's easy to hate us, but we're still the most popular company in the world at what we do. We're so far beyond being a wrestling company that it is very easy to point the finger and hate on us. That's the cool thing to do. It makes sense. It's how it's always been in sports entertainment. You always hate the big guy. It's fine. I'm not upset about it at all. Can I dissect some of this? Can I dissect some of what Rollins said? Because the hypocrisy here and the contradictions are alarming. He starts off saying we're the New York Yankees. Well, clearly he doesn't follow my beloved New York Yankees. I love my Yankees. But if he's the Yankees, maybe that is an actual good comparison, because he's the Yankees from 2010 to 20 now. Because the last 10 years, my New York Yankees have been underperforming. And yeah, that's alarming, right? The Yankees, you're thinking, with all the money that they spend and all the talent that they have, you would think they'd be in the World Series every year. But no, that's why the Yankees are underperforming. If you're a true Yankee fan, you know we should be doing better than we've been doing the past 10 years. So maybe that is a good comparison, Seth. WWE and the Yankees, the last 10 years underperforming, spending a lot of money, having all the talent in the world, and not getting anything really accomplished. Maybe they are the Yankees in the last 10 years. But he goes on to say, it's easy to hate us, but we're still the most popular company in the world. Seth, who's hating you, bud? Seth, who is hating you? We are trying to say the product sucks. We are trying to say this and voice up our displeasure so that hopefully all of you in WWE, from the suits and ties to the performers, and everyone and anyone in between, can help make the product better. Make WWE great again. There's a concept. Who's hating on it? It's trying to make it better. You're in this defensive mode within the WWE bubble. We've seen this time and time again with those that have been brainwashed with the WWE bubble way. I didn't think Seth was one of those type of people. It's not hating. We're trying to make it better. Nobody wants to hate WWE. We're watching it because we want to see great entertainment, great wrestling, great stories, great characters. We're not seeing any of it, Seth. He says, it's how it's always been in sports and entertainment. You always hate the big guy. How is that always how it's been? When I started watching pro wrestling, it's because I loved it. WWE, WWF at the time, was the biggest wrestling company. And guess what? We loved it. We didn't hate it because they were the big guy. We loved it. And it just so happened they were the big guy. You get what I'm saying here? How do you figure this is just a bold-faced lie? That's all this is. It's how it's always been in sports and entertainment. You always hate the big guy. No, we used to love WWF/E. You made us concerned. You made us want change. You made us and forced us to show and voice our displeasure to get better because it sucked. You guys did that. It's not just we woke up and said, hey, let's hate them. They're the only game in town. You have to see through the bullshit you're saying, man. That's the only way we can help you, and you can try to help this business, more specifically your company. He goes on to say, it's putting in as much work. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself. He goes on to say in that paragraph that I just read to you guys, he ended it with, you always hate the big guy. It's fine. I'm not upset about it at all. Again, this is another lie. You're claiming now you're laughing it off. I'm not upset. People are always going to hate the Yankees of wrestling. What are you talking about, bro? You're pissed off beyond belief. That's where this all started from. You got pissed off that Moxley was talking shit about your company. You got pissed off that people in that locker room were frustrated with their position and lack of TV time in the way they've been treated. You got pissed at the fans for being... Oh, I'm sorry. Should we use his hate word? No, I'm not even going to use that. For being truthful. See, you want to say hateful. No, it's truthful. You didn't like the fans voicing their displeasure because we were telling you facts that you didn't want to hear. So whether it's your friends like Moxley, your peers in that locker room, or the fans, you didn't like the fact that we were praising what is going on in that ring or in that company. We didn't like what was going on in that company because it sucks today. And you didn't want to hear it. And you voiced all of your displeasures and you attacked everybody. From the fans to the peers in that locker room to your own friend. But now all of a sudden, a week later, it doesn't bother you. I get it. It doesn't, what's your words? I'm not upset about it at all. Could have fooled me just a week ago, you were. Check out my podcast just a couple of weeks ago. I made it about Seth Rollins, and I hit Seth Rollins pretty hard in that because I was calling out the bullshit there. Well, now here we are a week or two later, and it's more bullshit. He goes on to say, and this is in another fucking paragraph, same interview. I just want people to understand and appreciate the things we go through and the fact that we're always trying to do our best. Nobody is taking it easy. Nobody is just getting by. Everybody from top to bottom, every department in the entire company is putting in as much work as they possibly can to make it the best. Bullshit. Oh, I'm saying major bullshit, buddy, and you know it. First, I'll start off in this paragraph with understand and appreciate the things we're going through and the fact that we're always trying to be our best. Bro, we always do. On this channel, I'm always thanking The performers for going out there and putting their bodies on the line, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears. I'm always thanking you guys for that, and gals. That does not mean at all when we voice our displeasure in saying the company sucks and there's no more larger-than-life superstars, there's no storylines we care about, and no feuds we give a shit about. That doesn't mean that when we voice those concerns, it doesn't mean we're not appreciating your work ethic. We do appreciate it. In fact, I just made a video yesterday where I hammered CM Punk because he went off when he left WWE, took his ball and he ran home, and he turned around before he walked through his home front door. He turned around and he looked at the entire pro wrestling world and he shit on it by saying it's that phony world, it's fake. And none of it matters in the end. It's all meaningless. None of it means anything in the end. Those are all his words. Meanwhile, you have these guys and gals putting in the blood, sweat, and tears on the daily, traveling over 250 days a year to make the next town, to put in all of the work that they train for and to show off their skills and to prove that they are better, not just to others, but to themselves, better than they were yesterday. There's so much work that goes into being a pro wrestler in the business itself. So I know, I appreciate it, and I call out people that are calling out your hard work. Voicing displeasure and saying the company is in the trenches. It's hit rock bottom. It needs change. It needs to be better. It needs to do better from top to bottom. That is not saying we hate the company, and that is not putting into question your work ethics or not appreciating you. Understand the difference. He goes on in that paragraph to say everybody from top to bottom putting in as much work as they possibly can to make it the best. Bullshit, man! You said from top to bottom, everybody is doing the best. Bro, right from the top, Vince McMahon is not doing the best, bro. And you know that's truthful. Vince has put that company into the trenches the last 10 years. And he keeps going further and further. And you're sitting here in an interview claiming that everybody's doing their best from top to bottom. Bro, your marketing team, the ones that do your t-shirts, go on WWEshop.com because I just put out this tweet a few days ago and it's laughable, the merchandise. I came from the era where it was fucking Austin 316 or the Brahma Bull or the DX Suckets. I loved it. They were hardcore, they were fun, they were talking points when your friends would see you outside or people that didn't even know pro wrestling. You could talk about it, and even if they didn't know pro wrestling, the shirts were cool. Now you're seeing these New Day and Bailey shirts and the Man's Man. What does that even mean? Bro, I tweeted out the photo of a bunch of shirts. This was an email sent to me by WWE telling me that if I buy one shirt, I can get one free. I wonder why they're handing shirts out for free. Could it be because nobody wants them? I had to retweet that picture to people because it's laughable. Who's buying this merchandise? And you're claiming that you're all doing your best. The marketing team sucks right now. Your writing team sucks right now. Your top man in the company, the top dog, Vince McMahon, sucks right now. How are you all doing your best? 90% of the performers, are trying to go out there and put on the best wrestling matches. But bro, you can't admit that a 5-minute TV match or a 9-minute pay-per-view match that a lot of these guys are getting, I'm sorry, I'm being too generous, a 7-minute pay-per-view match and a 3-minute TV time match. You're telling me that's the best you guys have to offer? I'm gonna call bullshit and ask and beg the question, can you do better? And that's rhetorical, yes you can. He then goes on later in the week to do another interview with the Tampa Bay Times. This is to promote this Monday's Monday Night Raw. It's a big Raw reunion show, so they got Seth Rollins doing this interview. And he was asked by this interviewer straight out. He was asked about the lack of chemistry between him and Lynch and how the fans just aren't connecting with that storyline. They're not connecting with Lynch and Rollins, and the fans just don't think there's chemistry. And this is what Rollins said. I shit you not. This is a true quote. Rollins said, I think those critics might be a little jealous. He said, I think jealousy is where a lot of that stems from. I mean, if I'm a dude and I'm watching television and I have a crush on Becky Lynch, I'm probably not going to be too fond of the guy who's dating her either. So I get that. we have such great chemistry. This is the quote. We went back to middle school. I didn't think Seth Rollins could stoop any lower, but now we're going back to middle school. So let me just go over some of these quotes in this paragraph. He said, I think those critics might be a little jealous. I think jealousy is where a lot of that stems from. How is that jealousy? Bro, nobody is digging you and Becky together. It seems overly forced, it's awkward, and you two should be doing your own title thing. There's no reason, just because you were dating behind the scenes, we need to see that on camera. It doesn't work. It looks really cringeworthy. And I'm being the utmost sincere in trying to do it in the most nicest way possible, the most respectful way possible. It looks weird. It looks like you're Becky's bitch. The whole man's man gimmick is weird to me. I don't understand. She's walking around like she's a real dude. She's picking fights with dudes. She's over-talking you. It's weird to me. Call me old school. It's weird to a lot of us. The chemistry isn't there, bro. We noticed it from day one. That's great if behind the scenes, behind closed doors, the chemistry is through the roof. That's what I want for you two. Great, get married, have 76 children. On air, it's weird, it's awkward, it's cringeworthy, there's no connection. Or at least that's not what it looks like. And now you're just saying it's jealousy with people. To who? You go on social media, 50% of the people saying these things are female. He says, I'm probably not going to be too fond of the guy who's dating her either, if they have a crush on Becky Lynch. We have such great What do you mean you're not going to be too fond of them either? So you're saying if somebody thinks Becky Lynch is hot, because she's with you on TV, they're going to hate you. Guys, if this is middle school, maybe. The percentage of WWE's audience, though, if you look at the actual statistics, is actually over the age of 21. That's their most audience. That's the fucking metrics, man. I'm not making that up. In fact, over the age of 30 is their most diehard fans. And the most, what makes up their fan base. Over 30 plus. Well, let's just stick to 21 years old plus. That's their core audience. That's the main majority of their audience. People like to think, because it looks like it's more aimed at kids these days, that that's their main audience. No, if you look at the metrics, kids only make up a small percentage. So unless Seth is just talking about those middle schoolers, the rest of us are not in middle school. We can care less if you're dating Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and fucking Sasha Banks all at once. It wouldn't matter. We're telling you what sucks on television, and you're talking about being jealous because you're in a relationship with her and people don't like it. It's like this guy is stuck in middle school and can't get out of what we're trying to tell him. I don't know any other way we can help him. He's gonna keep taking our words and twisting it to fit his narrative and his agenda. We have such great chemistry is how he ends that paragraph. Bro, you don't. You think you do because you're dating her. That's awesome. And maybe behind closed doors, maybe it is much better. But that's not what the viewer is watching on TV. You got your lady walking around like she's the man. She's wearing a shirt that says the man's man. And she's making you look like the little guy in the relationship. It's weird. I'm all about fucking equality in the relationship. No question. But can we at least decipher the roles of man and woman as long as you two are together? Becky Lynch's gimmick as it is kind of gray. Nobody really knows what to think about it. Then on top of that, she's with a guy who called himself the man in Seth Rollins, and you don't look like too much of a man next to Becky Lynch. So that's another reason why a lot of your fans, Rollins fans, are kind of like, I don't know about this Rollins lately, man. He's saying a lot of crazy shit, and then when he's in the ring, he looks like Becky's tool. Probably good for Becky. For Seth, man, it's all about how you're portrayed, right? Perception is reality. You want us to take you seriously as a universal champion when you're no more than Becky's bitch. Or at least that's how it's coming across on TV. That's why we say it's cringeworthy. That's why we say it's awkward. That's why we say the chemistry isn't there. Not jealousy. We're not hating on the WWE for any reason that you're saying, because you're the Yankees. You're the big conglomerate, and we just woke up and wanted to hate you. We don't all have crushes on Becky Lynch and we're so upset that you're dating her. Bro, my tier, my pecking order, when you're talking crushes, you would be talking Sasha Banks, Naomi, Ember Moon. My second tier, Mickie James, Kairi Sane. Fuck, man. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, bro. Renee, right? Drake Maverick's wife. These would all be females that I would put before Becky Lynch for talking jealousy. Come on, bro. Make sure I got everything, man. He says he's been saying a lot. Let me tell you. We'll leave it at that. I mean, there was more in these interviews, but I don't even. I think I've said enough. I think that I've you know, I didn't want to be as amplified in this video. Hopefully my points got across. I know once I get talking about this, it's frustrating because, especially on this channel, you guys know I'm trying to help the product. I am really, really trying. As my audience grows, I'm really trying to grow the positivity within the company and pro wrestling. I really am. I'm really trying to grow change in the positive and right direction. But I can't do that if when I'm trying to help at some crazy chance that these videos will come across the superstars, which they have in the past. And if they do, maybe they'll create that change. Maybe it'll make them think. But instead, all of our words are just going into false narratives. They take what we're trying to say, like Rollins, and they're just like, oh, that's nothing big. They're just being fans. They're just jealous. They love Becky and I. Deep at the core. They don't really think WWE sucks. They just, we're the Yankees and the Patriots. We're the big game in town, and so they have to hate us. It's the cool thing to do. They don't really think we suck. No, bro. We really, really think you suck. No, bro. We're not jealous because you're with Becky, because most of us are above the age of 14. Again, I like Rollins still. I said this a couple weeks ago when I hit Rollins on that podcast for the shit that he was spewing, and I still said, I still respect and like Rollins. It's losing its steam, that respect and that like, but I still do. I still know what he can bring to the table. I still know he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I want to still think he means well. He just has to learn to shuddy sometimes, or think about what he is saying and how his own peers are going to take it. His friends like Moxley are going to take it. His fans. The Amplified Man was never a real fan of Rollins, but he does have hardcore fans. He's even turned a lot of them off, I've seen on social media. And they were like, all right, loved Seth Rollins at one point, now I gotta jump off the Rollins train, because this is a little bit much, man. He's starting to lose his fucking marbles. He's so far in the WWE bubble, some people are saying he's so far up McMahon's ass that there's no turning back. I don't want to believe that, and I'm hoping there is a way back for Rollins. He's got to stop this extracurricular activity shit, though. He's got to see that if he has real blame, and if he has shit to say and he's not happy, direct it to the source, and it should be McMahon. You trap yourself into an office. He's not going to fire you. He'll respect you if you're saying you're the true locker room leader. You get McMahon in an office, and you start telling him all the things that are wrong with the company, and how can we change it. Maybe even give him some examples, some situations, some topics of your own that could help the situation. My advice to you, Rollins, stop attacking your peers in the locker room. Stop attacking your friends like Moxley for speaking out about the truth. Stop attacking your fans because we don't like the product today. I'm the Amplified Man. Podcast later this weekend, 25th ever episode. We're going to switch it up. We're going to do something a little different. Hopefully you guys like it. The Amplified Man, baby. Check you later.